morning and welcome to the program. This is Business Morning. It's Wednesday, the 3rd of May. I'm boosting them off on the show today. Let's get started over the next 1 hour. It was 12 hours ago that the Central Bank of Nigeria announced the hammering of 18 commercial banks for their failure to sell special SMEs FX intervention funds of about $100 million weekly from the central bank over a 4-week period. That was the news that spoke to the social media and the news wires overnight. Now everyone's grappling with this latest development from the central bank, saying only 8 commercial banks were in partial compliance with the sale of small and medium enterprises FX allocated to them by the financial regulator. The central bank says non-compliant banks are now out of the spot and forward FX central bank intervention windows until, quote, sufficient evidence are provided that they've allocated the existing SMEs monies they received over the last 4 weeks. And those 8 banks, of course, you have their names on the social media already. 18 banks are now effectively out as we start this morning. This is the biggest news in the FX market as we start the new business day and the week in the new month of May. So, as an incentive, according to the regulator, banks that have utilized their SME funds to be allocated all of the $100 million sold at Tuesday's May the 2nd wholesale FX auction. According to the central bank, a survey reveals SMEs continue to face untold hardships created by the banks, making it difficult for SMEs to access FX at the window. Some SMEs have been waiting for weeks for foreign exchange without success, according to sources within the Central Bank of Nigeria. So the key question this morning is what you see next. What is the criteria for SMEs to access this special SMEs FX allocation? And we thank you, our viewers, who have been on this particular news and development over the last 12 hours. So the key question has been resonating on Twitter this morning or overnight till now, and will continue to resonate throughout the day. What's the criteria that the central bank have set, or that the banks have set, in allocate the special SMEs FX? That's the key question. Are these criteria well known, easy to understand, and easy to comply with? These are some of the issues we'll be discussing today and in the days ahead. Meantime, yesterday the central bank pushed $196.2 million into the FX market. $100 million went into the special wholesale FX window. $44.2 million into what you call travel allowances, medicals, and tuition fees. The SMEs segment got $52 million. If you do a simple arithmetic, that brings you $196.2 million. That's the total allocations to 3 market segments on Tuesday. The first allocation in the new month of May. Now, look at the market performance yesterday when we started the trading week after the Labour holiday. Look at the spot market. The Naira made a little bit of gentle gain, 0.02%, north of 305.80 against the dollar. Against the pound, it was 1.70%, 402.76. The end of yesterday's trading, Naira Euro at 333.04. That's a negative 0.1%. On the street, where you call it the black market, so that's the numbers. It's all negative, a bit of a 0.26% weakening for the Naira, 391 against the dollar, against the pound sterling, a negative 2.68%, 498, and sitting at 420. Naira Euro, a negative 1.120%. And finally, the investors and exporters window, that was the last window opened by the central bank 2 weeks ago for those who want to repatriate their dividends and other portfolio investment transactions, and for exporters 379.68. The Naira weakened 1.6 points on the dollar, a negative percentage 0.17%. On the day, we have this raft of PMIs, positive or trajectory purchasing managers index that Obianuju Unsafo from Afro-Invest will be talking to us about in a few minutes. The stock market saw a bit of a rally, held on to the positive closing on Friday, almost 1% to the north. On Tuesday, the first trading day of the week, the market index now inching back towards 26,000 level on the all-share index, and the market cap added about 62 billion. The total naira value 8.97 trillion naira. That's about 29.3 billion US dollars. In volume terms, we were higher than the final trading day of April by 47.9%. That's 191.02 million shares, 2.12 billion naira net naira value. In dollar terms, that's about 6.9 million US dollars. That's also higher than last Friday's figure by 25.9%. Look at the unlisted securities market, the NESD, OTC. That's where you find the market, a bit of a gentle haircut, 0.65 when the market, this very relatively new and small market, finished off on Tuesday. Let's pace up and go straight to the fixed income market, where the bonds were a little bit positive on Tuesday. At the second window, at the FMDQ OTC securities market, 12.030 billion naira. That's quite higher than 9 billion that we saw on Friday. So the market came back with a bit of a positive sentiment at the fixed income space. And you can see most activities were, okay, push it up. That's 17th March 2017, 2027 paper, 6 billion naira and 60 transactions. And the rest of the top transactions for the day on that page. If you flip that to the Treasury bills market, well, we saw inflows of the FARC allocations into the market. The interbank market was a little bit blue, or in the green if you want to put it. So that put some sentiments into the Treasury bills market. We saw an OMO deal from this regulator yesterday. Well, the secondary window was quite active, 137 billion, one single day to start a new month and the business week. That's quite significant.